Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to another pen allowance. Now, if you remember, the last pen allowance was a little bit weird. I was showing you plastic containers, index cards. You know, I got some things that weren't fountain pen related, but this time it's a little different. But toward the end, we're gonna veer off into the unusual. So I went to Tobacco World again and got a couple of cigar boxes, but I'll save that till the end. So I bought another tool. I got some section pliers. I guess we'll just dive right in. I got these from Anderson Pens and I paid $12 for them. And I mean, over my head, of course. I've got to be really careful because I have never used them before. I recognize that. But I've got at least two pens. One is my Conklin, and I was trying to think, there's another one where it's stubborn, and you know, but I don't want to break anything, so I'll watch some videos, I'll do a little more research, probably should have done it, you know, ahead of time, and then I'll learn how to use them. But they look really rugged and they feel really nice. The ends are padded, you know, really nice, like they wouldn't gouge or scratch anything, and I'm excited about it. It feels like a good tool. I love tools, but I do have some learning to do. I recognize that with the calipers. I was back in Harbor Freight today looking at some more, but I still wasn't ready to exchange those yet. So anyway, there's the section pliers, and then that was Anderson Pens. And then from Goulet Pens, I'm not showing everything I got because there's some Christmas stuff already involved. So, but this is a Jinhao 159 that they had on sale for $6.25, and I thought that was good. That was only slightly over what I'd pay on eBay and wait 2 weeks. So here's the justification for this purchase. I dedicated my purple one, or at least one pen body, right now it happens to be the purple one, to my reviewing, and I started to miss having the other extra one. Now, I didn't order a nib at the same time because I have an extra medium nib, and I also have been known to swap the stub nibs quite often. So I didn't want to, you know, order another nib yet because I want to make sure I don't get more than what I need. But there's that, and I couldn't get out of the store, so to speak, without getting an ink sample. So I got Monteverde Key Lime Pie, and that looks like this. If we can, yeah, it's a bright green. It's like, woo, woo, woo. It's pretty, and it matches the pen. I don't know. I always click like what's new or ink or something before I leave there. I can't get out, it seems like, without. But did I remember to get that Tokyo gift? No. So anyway, that's the way I seem to be. Okay, and then this came from Pen Chalet. Gee, I was spreading the love around this time. This is a Diplomat Magnum, and they had them on sale for $12.50, and I wanted to try the pen. So I don't have this one, the Jinhao, inked up right now. I'm really trying not to ink anything because you know what I'm doing. If you watch my channel, I'm doing 30 inks, 30 days very, very soon. So, but I do have this one inked up, and this is the packaging it came in. Like I said, I thought that was a really good price for me to try one. Diplomat Magnum with a medium nib, gray. Okay, so let's get it out and play with it a little before we get into the cigar boxes and all the other little things there. Not bad packaging, just nice, but not too much to deal with. That's not going to be bad. Oh, I left the little thing on it. Okay, so this is what happened. I watched a video. See, I'm like you guys watching me. Well, I watched Pens and Tea, so I watched Carrie talking about, you know, this pen, and I thought, where have I been? Why didn't I think of getting one of these? And I know that she writes with more high-end pens, and so if she had a favorable impression of this pen, it must be pretty darn good. And she talked about the nib and the comfort of the writing, and so I thought, oh gosh, yeah, I want one, you know? So I got one, because I had pen allowance and I had a little channel money too. That's how I paid for the pliers, was from the channel money, which is not all gone yet. I've still got a little bit left. So this has kind of a Lamy-like grip, but actually in feeling it, and I haven't measured it yet, I will. This is not a review. This is just me excited over my pen allowance purchases. You guys that have been around know what happens. Like, come on here. So let's get some paper. Oh, we're not dealing with the green ink. This is actually Noodler's Lexington Gray. So let's just get you know, nib to paper. I've been writing with this quite a bit, actually, in my bullet journal, and I wrote some letters to a pen friend, Sharon, because she was interested in the ink, and I had an ink sample. So this is, well, okay, let's do pen first. Diplomat Magnum. Hopefully I can spell everything right, and it's a medium nib. It's a nice wet writer. I don't know if I can show you that because of the lighting and everything, but wow, it takes... Okay, and this is Noodlers. Lexington Gray. Okay, this is another thing. Now, I didn't have to purchase the Lexington Gray because a pen friend sent me the sample. And I had some. I think I had a tiny bit. So I ended up going ahead and getting into this sample. But if I hadn't already had a sample, after I watched an ink guy who's Adam, I watched his review and I thought, oh, I gotta have that gray ink because, you know, it's good for even addressing envelopes and it's nice. It flows really well, but this is a smooth nib. This writes really smooth right out of the whatever this thing is, box, plastic. Oh yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, this is what the Jen Howe came in. For those of you who hate packaging, isn't that nice? Because I'm not going to feel bad at all about throwing that away. I'm not going to keep that. So anyway, this is smooth. This is really, really nice. This is kind of a broad medium nib. So it's nice that I got the medium because I like broad nibs, but I was also thinking about, well, how a fine nib might do in this same pen. Because something I was trying to write in a tiny little square earlier, and I thought, oh, if that Diplomat Magnum had a fine nib on it, that would just be fantastic. So from them, it didn't come with a converter, but I stole a converter off a pen that's in my repair pile. Sad, sad story. I did something to the tines on one of my Kaweco Perkios, and I'm just hurt feelings, because I love that pen, but I think I can fix it. And it is not an expensive pen, but still, I wasn't very happy. Whoops, let me get that twisted on. So it is a standard international cartridge converter or cartridge. And if you buy it from Goulet Pens, then you can get the converter included. But I was wanting to try this pen. I was ordering something else from Pen Chalet. Can't talk about everything because Christmas is on its way. Believe it or not, we start early on that kind of thing. So I just love this. It's smooth, smooth, smooth. I wish I could show you. On my other lighting situation where it's noisy over there, I could show you the glare. I mean, you know, how the ink is still drying. Well, there we go. Let's do it. Let's brain up here and just show you the ink. It's a nice wet writer. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, this isn't a review by any means, but one of the things that I noticed right away that I hadn't thought of is that I get my grubby little hands because I'm always inking everything, and I'm wondering about this material. I'm really hoping that I don't stain it. It has a lot of texture to it. I'm not even sure what it's made of, and I am planning to do more of a review on this pen after I've written with it longer, because it's one of those I love, and I also want to learn more about it, and that's how I go about it, really. I have to do research to do a review, so it's kind of neat. But I wanted to show you. Now, I did spend a little bit more pen allowance on what some people might call weird stuff, but I went to Tobacco World, and I went through they charge $2 for their empty cigar boxes, so it's kind of weird. You go in there, and the guys are smoking or whatever, and I go straight for the pile of cigar boxes. But let me see if I can open this without hitting my camera. Yeah. So this happened to have the liner in it that's like my red one that lifts out. But I wanted this for the top of my desk, my Grammy's desk. I'll have it open while I'm writing, and then I can, as a dust cover, you know, I can close it when I'm not, oh gosh, there's a lot of glare. Sorry about that. When I'm not writing, it'll be closed and it'll keep the dust out of my pens. So that it holds 10. It has 10 sections. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 sections. The little red one had 8, and I started using that for my currently inked pens, you know, the little series that I do not on a regular basis, but as I rotate pens. So there's one that I got, and then the other one certainly relates to pens, but in a whole different way. It's a narrow box, and I saw this and I went nuts. I mean, I'm sure they think, hi, there's that girl again. So it holds perfectly my cards. You know what I'm talking about, because if you watch my channel. So I'm still kind of sorting, and it's a poor job so far. We just cut like literally hundreds of these. My husband helped me, and so I still got filing, and I'm going to end up doing little dividers too, which it's going to be real quick and easy. But anyway, there's one. Okay, and here's the other one. Now, you know, you don't find really matching things in there very often, and the wooden boxes go really quickly, so I get them, and if they match, they match. It doesn't really matter, but it's the same idea. In fact, I think, yeah, we're dealing with the same height, so I know I'm going to be just fine for using it the same way. And you know, it gives me a chance to close them, because, you know, as clumsy as I can be, I can walk by those things with water on my hands or something. I have to be really careful. But if I've shut down the production for the day or week or whatever, then I can have them in here. And I do like wooden things. I use plastic things too. You know, last pen allowance, I was all about the plastic. Well, I saw these and I thought, hey, that's cool. $2 each. And they threw in some well, they threw in pieces like this. They looked at me really funny that I love this stuff. I get excited. And there was another section that would hold 4. And, you know, after a while, they get kind of dirty and dusty, and I have to keep them clean. But anyway, they let me have that and some other plastic stuff too. So it was definitely well spent $6. So then on to the absolutely not related to fountain pens, but actually helps me mentally. I went to the bookstore, and I didn't spend pen allowance. I spent, my husband gave me an allowance, and that's a separate kind of a little thing. And we went in the bookstore, and I got 3 of these. Actually, I had another one. I guess I put the one that's a biography of Zane Grey. It's a paperback. I put that one up. But I'm already reading Riders of the Purple Sage. And then when I got in there and I saw Wildfire, I know I read this book when I was really young. It says, a classic saga of a girl of the West and a great horse. Well, oh my goodness, I'm going to love that. And then I didn't like the cover of this one, but my hardcover one is horrible, of the Border Legion. And I know I love this one too. I can't remember what it's about, but anyway, I love Westerns, and it's kind of changing gears, because I've been reading J.A. Jance, who writes about, well, I've been reading the Sheriff Brady series, and so I wanted a little bit of a change from all the homicide detective stuff, and so I've gone into the Westerns, and I'm really excited about that. And how does that help the channel? Well, if I get my mind clear, I have all these cool ideas, so I generally fall asleep reading, and I just love it. And my grandfather had all these books, and what I'm thinking is that I must have borrowed them from him, returned them, and then gotten another one, and then borrowed. I probably, you know, borrowed the same one 3 or 4 times, because I can't figure. I never got rid of my books. I always saved them. So, and then Manuel has a bunch of old copies, but some of them are ruined. So anyway, that is how I spent my pen allowance and some other allowance. And oh dear, yeah, I'm actually using my green traveler's notebook to record how I'm doing, because I'd like to know, like, yeah, where's my money going? I just need to watch my videos, and then I'll know. But I thought these were good purchases. I really am excited. I love this pen. It's so super smooth, and it feels like, okay, when I compare this one to the Perkio, this nib feels more solid, and yet it's not hard. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And now that I know that I have sprung that other nib, I'm a little bit worried about my glowing opinion of the other pen. I hope I didn't steer anybody wrong, but I'm going to look at it, and I'm not really sure how I managed to do that. But 3 years in the hobby, it's the first time I've had misaligned tines. So gosh, it's going to happen, I think. And so but I wonder if this one, it feels more solid. And anyway, I'm kind of admiring another pen. Actually, I think it's going to be for my Christmas. That is like a purpley one that came from Goulet Pens. But I'm not supposed to know or remember when things get put away for Christmas. My husband's very adamant about that. They get put away. So even though I may know about it, I'm not supposed to talk about it. So okay, all right. I'm just getting ridiculous now. But thank you very much for watching, and let me know how are you spending your pen allowance right now. Do you have a pen allowance? How's it going? And we can talk about it. We could talk about some of the various ways that that we could have a good time on a budget. So I will see you later. I have one more video to do that's really important. I wanted to get out, show you a couple of ink samples that I got in, and also a little ink booklet, but that's coming next. And then we'll dive right into 30 inks, 30 days. So bye for now. Have a great weekend.